The boughs of the cemetery twisted like contorted bones, writhing in a silent scream. Beneath them lie the cold stones, each marking a dwelling place in which no one is home. The innumerable flashing fragments shine in the brilliant wintry light, for today there is no weather, no wind, no cloud, just sub-zero temperatures. Even the leaf stems lie white and sharp. Ahead the path glistens like white quartz, yet ice crystals on weary concrete is all it is. He pauses, his breath rising in visible puffs, and then he remembers why he came. It was all because of a stupid bet. "I don't want to be here," mumbled Sean whilst he trembled wildly in fear. "Yeah, but you have to be. Remember the promise?" asked John. "Yeah, but what if they are here?" whispered Sean as he said that his heart started thumping out of control. He couldn't be here, he thought. "They won't be, there are no such things as ghosts," said John angrily. "It's always the same old argument," thought Sean. They had an argument a few days ago at home. He could remember it as vividly as if it were yesterday, and he always thinks he's right because he's 7 minutes older than me, thought Sean. "Okay, let's make a bet," said John. "You know that tomorrow there is a cricket match between England and New Zealand, and if England wins tomorrow, then you and me will spend the whole night at the graveyard. However, if New Zealand wins, then I will never ever argue with you about ghosts, and I will just accept that you are an odd person. Deal?" Bafflement penetrated into Sean's consciousness and continued to grow until he couldn't think anymore. The offer has its good and bad aspects, thought Sean. He didn't want to fight with his brother anymore about this idea. Nevertheless, spending the night in a haunted boneyard made him tremble in fear. "I think I heard that New Zealand had a much better chance at winning than England, so that might give me an advantage," thought Sean. "What should I do?" "Yes," Sean replied, and gulping at the same time before he could stop himself, and a small grin appeared at the side of John's lip like he had already won. Consuming him inside out, the feeling of regret pervaded into his mind, causing Sean to hallucinate. "Did I make the right decision?" he thought whilst he lay there on his bed. "What if? No, I shouldn't think this way," he thought. "Tomorrow this will be all over and done with." As he woke up, panic consumed him. "I shouldn't have said yes to him yesterday. How stupid was I?" thought Sean. After the match at end, a colossal smile appeared on John's face. His face lit up brighter than that toothpaste commercial. Feeling fireworks lightening up inside of him, fire burned in his eyes. He could feel all his tension leaking out and elevating his spirits. However, collapsing onto his chair, Sean was bewildered. His sunken blue eyes radiated misery. He couldn't believe that he had lost, and now he would have to go to the dungeon of the death and spend the night there. "What if?" mumbled Sean as he quivered in distress. "What?" replied John hastily. "What if there are ghosts out there?" asked Sean timidly. "There won't be, there are no such things as ghosts," replied John furiously as he went away and got the camping equipment ready. "But it's Halloween that day," said Sean. "The scarier the better," replied John, and a small grin appeared at the side of his lip and walked towards the garage in preparation of what was going to come ahead. "Stop daydreaming, Sean, and help me set up the tent," said John. "I can't do it by myself." Standing taller, Sean tried to help John, but it was no use because his hands were trembling out of control. Climbing into the tent, Sean's eyes were filled with panic and urgency. He felt the need to escape, run and hide, but run where, he thought? Into this abyss? "I feel just like a child again, scared and terrified." He tells himself that the feelings of fear are the simple chemicals made by the brain, and he tries to analyze the situation, but it's no use. "I can't change my feelings, and I can't run away, so what can I do?" he thought. He tries to imagine it from the outside, as if it were a movie and not real life. Then he asks himself what his character should do. It would help him control his emotions and help him make better choices, but of course that didn't help either. "Good night," says John. "No, please don't go to sleep," said Sean as his hands trembled in fear. "It's going to be fine," said John, and rolled onto his back and fell asleep within minutes. His even noises of snoring pervaded into the atmosphere and masked the breaths of the graveyard. The fear sat on him like a pillow over his mouth and nose. Enough air gets by it, allowing his body to keep functioning. Darkness haunts the light, its overpowering strength mates with the obscurity to make death. Once again fear found him, and caused his stomach to lurch and his heart to ache, but he couldn't silence this voice in his heart. It was writhing in pain. The howls of wolves raged in the ambience and Sean couldn't handle this. He didn't want to do this, but he had to. He had no choice, he didn't want to stay up alone. "John, wake up," said Sean as he tugged into his sweater trying to make him get up. "What do you want?" asked John wearily. "I feel scared," said Sean. "Can you please stay up with me?" "No, just go to sleep," said John. Feeling an overwhelming urge of panic, Sean put his knees to his chest and rocked back and forth like a baby's crib. The cemetery whispers under the sallow moon, a frigid wind rustling newly brown leaves, each of them become crisper as Halloween draws closer. All that is left of the fine people of this cemetery is the decrepit stones. Under the soil is nothing but more soil, even bones don't last that long in the damp ground. Yet still this place is nowhere to be after nightfall. No one comes here who means any good, so though it is empty almost every dusk till dawn, it puts the chills on even the toughest of folks. Out of the corner of his eye he could see it, sunlight. He has survived the night in the graveyard, he thought. "Wake up," said Sean as he tugged John's blanket. Waking up, John could see the light and a large smile appeared on his face. "You did it," said John. "Well done. Now do you believe me that there are no such things as ghosts?" "Sure," agreed Sean.